Welcome to ETHDenver. We're here at the Genzio Media House with Rachel, the Director of Marketing at HackMD. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Glad you're here. So why don't you just kick it off and kind of tell us maybe a little bit about your background, how that led into HackMD, and then what is HackMD?
Absolutely. So I've been in the Web3 space since 2018. I joined a company called blockchain.com and helped them build out their marketing strategy platform. Anything from content creation to event strategy to partnerships. I was very blessed to be able to help them with their partnership with the Dallas Cowboys. So that was in, 2022 was when it was announced. So really ran the gambit there.
Sure.
Then I moved to a company called Recur and helped them with their digital collectible experiences. So worked with some of their partners like Paramount, Nickelodeon, Star Trek, light names to help them figure out their digital collectible strategy and bring that to market for their dedicated, loyal fans. And then I recently moved to HackMD. Now switching gears a little bit. And still, I like to say Web3 adjacent.
Okay.
So we have quite a few Web3 projects that are using HackMD to, create their documentation for what they're building. And not only that, but so that people who are building on top of, a protocol, platform, what have you, so that they have the tools to really run with it, right? Because projects, especially in Web3, need others to build on it, to build that ecosystem. So when you have really solid documents to help folks plug and play themselves, it just helps everything go so much smoother. So,
yeah. No, I think that's a great product. As we've seen with ETH recently, like Charles handed off the development of the token to the community.
Exactly.
Right? And there's countless situations like that. So I think the need for that platform is clearly proven in the market, right? So that's very interesting. Now, what do you guys do now to ETHDenver?
Yes. So like I mentioned a little earlier, I like to say Web3 adjacent because we do have some integrations for the community. So because we have a lot of projects using Markdown documentation for their, we want to make it so that the platform, works seamlessly with what they're doing in their day-to-day. So some of the things we started to integrate is Arweave. So that if folks want to take that documentation and decentralize it, push it to the blockchain, they absolutely can. So if a DAO has their governance documents that they want to push, make live, a white paper, that they can do that. But we feel that, internal teams probably don't want all of their documents on chain. So we give them the option so they absolutely can, but reserve that kind of privacy that they definitely want. So we have that set up. And then earlier this week, we were excited to announce sign in with Ethereum. So not only can you, take your documents and put them wherever, but you can also own your account.
Okay.
So you can use your Ethereum profile, ENS profile to sign in. Don't have to worry about big tech to sign in.
Sure.
You can use your own digital identity.
Nice. And this platform is live right now?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yep. HackMD has been around since 2017 officially. I think it launched quietly in 2016. But yeah, in 2017, the Ethereum Foundation came on. They really liked the product.
Nice.
So if you see any notes.ethereum.org, I believe is the link in the wild, that is that's built on HackMD.
Oh, interesting. I've certainly stumbled across some of those. So that's cool to know because I had no idea.
Yes, and that is what we're finding this week is that once we talk to folks, they know of us because they see all that documentation when they want to learn more. But yes, so to continue to answer your questions, one of the big things that we're doing this week is to continue to meet with projects to see how else we can integrate Web3 tech to make their work stream easier.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, are there any notable points of adoption that you've seen with the platform?
As in how?
Like, let's say, the integration with, what was it, info.ethereum?
Right. Oh, yep. No, it's not Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a really big one because, and at that same time, Vitalik came on as an investor. So I think that was definitely a big moment for the company.
Sure.
And, of course, as Ethereum Foundation starts using us for their documentation, others kind of feel that might be a good place for them to go as well. So certainly that was a moment of inflection. And I would also say I'm interested to know how folks ramp up after the sign-in with Ethereum, but it was met with quite a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Of course, folks want to see Web3 tech integrated into Web 2 more, right? That's kind of the dream.
Right.
So I think both that and Arweave were moments that show that the community that, there is ways to bring the tech, that it's not just siloed in Web3, that it can have more natural integrations with two companies. So I think the more that we do that, the more that it will have those natural inflections. But we are also hoping or working towards crypto payments as well. So I see that just another moment for the community to really, on-ramp, feel comfortable with the company and excited for it.
Sweet. Well, a bit off topic, but since you guys, Vitalik's an investor, correct? So when Vitalik invests in a project like HackMD, is he throwing some cash in, let's say, a seed round, or is he still sliding you guys some Ethereum?
Ooh, I personally don't. That was before my time. I came on in 2023.
Gotcha.
Yes, so that was 2017. So a bit before me. But if I had to guess, probably a little of both.
Yeah.
I feel like he would be remiss not to at least offer.
Sure.
But no, don't personally know.
Gotcha. Now, do you guys have a booth at ETHDenver? Are you doing any side events? Are you there more to network?
Definitely more to network. We've just been going to different side events, hanging out with the community, and seeing, networking.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you guys are out here kind of looking for partnerships or maybe some onboarding new clients, right?
Yeah.
In the angle of partnerships, are there specific verticals that you like to look for?
Yes. So the one that I started to mention, so we do want to get crypto payments into the platform, but one of the trickier ways that we found is that it is subscription-based. So how do you integrate Web3 payments as a subscription? There's a lot of nuance in that. So that's something that I've at least been keeping an eye out for. But also anything with just a natural fit in the community, even if it's something similar to sign in, something that, makes sense. But just being ear to the ground.
Yeah. I've personally worked with several companies before that have tried to solve that subscription issue in Web3, right?
Yeah.
And as far as I know, no one's been able to crack the code there, right?
Yeah, it's tough. I wouldn't even know where to start. That's not my expertise, but I trust the folks to be able to figure it out.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Right. And what was your background before Web3? Like, what kind of was that moment where you ventured into this deep world?
So my first job was in Web3. I feel like I'm lucky with that. And honestly, just really stumbled into the space. And got hooked. The bug bit me. I was fortunate enough to be with a team that was very welcoming and excited for others to learn about it, especially in 2018. It didn't have quite, the ICO boom had just happened, but it hadn't quite reached the main stage that it might have for the next few years. But folks were very open to kind of explaining things to me, and it helped that I had started to get a little bit of skin in the game. I feel like any new folks coming in, I like to tell them to just invest a little bit, even if it's like a cup of coffee, something like that. Because once you have the skin in the game, you learn more. You're more interested in how this technology works and what kind of value it can bring you. So I was lucky enough to just stumble into it and really enjoyed the space and the community, the innovation. There's always something new, obviously, happening. There's a new darling every year at ETHDenver. And I feel like I'm always learning, which is, who doesn't want to do that?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Was there anything else that you would like to share about HackMD?
Everyone should check it out. It's it's really great for really connecting with your community. Any sort of any sort of documentation, community building, decentralized.
So where can people find information about HackMD?
Yes, so they can find us on Twitter at HackMDIO. We have a Discord channel as well that's linked in there, and they can find us directly at HackMD.io.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast. Great stuff. You know, it's very cool to learn that I am actually familiar with the platform, but didn't know.
Yeah, love that.
That's great.
Love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Sure. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, likewise.